Okay, I'm gonna finally get around to fixing this brake master cylinder here, and show you how I'm gonna kind of diagnose it out. Now, this is, you want to look in there. It's got fluid, and I'm assuming it's been topped off before, and it's in the middle. So there is a chance. Here's the symptoms when you're driving. Sometimes the pedal depresses too far to the floor, like you're at a stoplight and you're standing on the brake, and then every once in a while the pedal will just start going down, down, down. You gotta use emergency brake to so your brake still works. So this could be a leaky a brake cylinder in the around the wheels there, but it's been like this for a long time, and I'm thinking if it was leaking and being driven that much, this fluid reservoir should be a lot lower. I mean, it could be. Actually, probably it's got a little small leak someplace. But anyways, I want to show you how you can diagnose this. First, I'm looking around. I don't see any obvious leaks. But one thing you want to do is you come over to your car and you just pump up the brake pedal. And you just pump it up until it's firm. And then hold it for 15 seconds. So, I'm counting down. And like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as I'm counting, you probably can't see it, but I can feel my foot is depressing. So that's a good way to tell. It should be able to hold the pressure for 15 seconds. And the fact that it can't means it's either leaking, but if it was leaking, it would probably squirt out that much fluid. That's my theory. So I'm thinking it's got a bad seal inside the brake master cylinder there, and you can't rebuild these, or at least even the books say don't mess with these, just replace the whole unit. And I think it's because of safety and stuff like that. But so I got another one. So again, to recap, the way I could kind of isolate it to this was I pumped up the brake pedal with the engine off, then held it for 15 seconds. And you could try this on your car. If your car's working good, you should be able to hold your brake for 15 seconds before it starts going to the floor. Anyhow, so actually I gotta get some brake fluid. This is on a 90 or 91 Accord, I forget which one I'm working on. And I'm thinking it's 0.3, yeah. Use only 0.3 or 0.4 brake fluid. So I need to run over to the store and get myself some brake fluid. So I'll pick this video up after I get back from the store. Alright, so I got myself a towel and just put it down there because you don't want to get brake fluid on your paint, because it'll eat your paint supposedly. Probably would. And so here's the players involved in here. So we got the two brake lines. There's one here and one there. And then on the brake booster cylinder deal back here, there's a bolt there and a bolt up top here. Right there. And then you got these connectors here. You just pop these off. I'm going to use the two hands. So first thing I'm going to do is get my trusty WD-40 and hit the brake lines there to loosen them up, and those back bolts, and let that soak in just a little bit, and it should make the job a lot easier. Okay, next while I'm waiting for the WD-40 to soak in, I'm going to go ahead and prep the master cylinder. And the way you do that is kind of zoom in here for you. So you got these little plugs here. They just come off. It's a little bit tricky with the gloves on. And then you have this little plug here. You just screw that in. This is where your brake lines are going to go in. Just put it in hand tight. And you get this little tube deal, and you push it on. And the idea is, what we're going to do is get it open. Is we're going to fill this up. Oops. And we're going to try to hand pump it, and it'll keep cycling so we don't keep losing brake fluid until we get all the air bubbles out of these lines. And we'll see how that goes. I don't know how hard that's going to be pushing that plunger in. It only should go in like an inch or so. So I'll get this other one on. And this came with the new unit. So what you're gonna do, and this you can just set aside. This piece here, in case you ever want to know, this is just like a float. Should look how this works. It's probably got like a magnet in it or something. Somehow sends the signals, you know, if this is high or low. Let's see. Oh, that punch! I was worried that this is going to be super hard to do. Some people are like, oh, you can put this on a vise and everything. You can just do it with your thumb, so that should be pretty easy. I even got a block of wood in case it was hard. It's kind of scary how easy it is. I hope it's okay. It might get harder as I fill it up. In fact, that's almost scary easy. Hopefully that's working. So let me get working on that. I'm gonna pour my brake fluid in there and stuff. Hopefully all that showed up. Okay, I pumped that thing up, and as I pumped it up, it did get quite a bit harder. So, and I suppose once you get the brake lines on them, you're pushing against the calipers and stuff, it probably really harden up. Anyways, zoom in a little bit here, see what I did. So I just kept pushing the plunger until I got all the air out of it. And then I just there's some little divots in here around the ring, so I just shoved the tubes in the holes there just to hold it. So next I gotta work on getting the old one out. And I'll just leave that there until I'm ready to put it in. Alright, show you what I did. Got myself a flare nut wrench. Flare nuts are 10 millimeters, and then I got myself a ratcheting box end wrench, and that's 12 millimeters. Oops, almost lost my wrench there. And so what you want to do is get in here and break these loose with your 10 millimeter flare nut wrench, and they're only supposed to be on like 11 foot-pounds or something like that, and so they're not on there that tight. And these back ones, I just kind of broke them loose, and they're almost free to turn by hand. So all I'm going to do is take these all the way loose off first, and then take the back ones out, and then pull the master cylinder out. This would be a lot easier if we had two people, because I kind of worry about spilling a lot of brake fluid, but we'll see how it goes. And oh, I disconnected these connectors. One of them is like somebody put some kind of weird goop on it or something. Here you can see it here. You know, this end looks normal. This end's all some kind of tarry stuff. So they must have had a broken boot there and put some kind of like plumber's putty on it to fix it or something like that. Anyhow, so that's almost ready to come out. I'm gonna need two hands to do this. So again, all I'm doing is taking out the two bolts off the vacuum booster back there, and then taking the lines off here, and then we're gonna pull that out. Okay, here's my old master cylinder. I pulled it off. I wanted to show you this side here. I was really surprised that there's no gasket here. There's almost always a gasket on Honda stuff, and I had to look it up because I was thinking, man, they're missing the gasket. Also, this little hole here, I'll show you where that goes here in a second. So here we are in the car, and again, it really looks like, I think they should have designed this with a gasket, but I don't know, what do I know. So there's this little rod here, and I don't think you want to go twisting that because I think it's set for a distance. But anyhow, that little rod will go in the end of that hole there. So next I gotta get this new master cylinder, put it in there, and then hook up the line. So all I did was shoot some WD-40 around there, clean it up a little bit because it's pretty dirty, and then we'll put it back together. Okay, here we go. Finally got the darn thing in. This was a lot harder because you want to hook up these brake lines first before you put those back bolts in, which I was trying to do, but I could not get the darn brake lines to go in. I kept fighting it. In fact, I had to take the cap off, and it got a little bit of dirt in there and stuff, so I had to clean that out when I got done. But man, that took a long time because I was so afraid I was going to strip these out, because you don't want to cross thread this. That would be a nightmare if you cross threaded this. So it took me a long time to get this out, and but I finally got it in. And so whatever progress I made bench bleeding it, I lost in all the fluid. Basically came out because it took me so long to get those brake lines in. So I'm just gonna, hopefully I'm just gonna do a really good bleed job, and I put fluid back in there, so hopefully that will work. I'll just have a lot of air in the lines and have to do a lot of bleeding. But don't want to over tighten those, and I'll show you something here on the old one. Hold on. So your new one should come with a new gasket. If it didn't, you need to reuse that gasket, and that just went on the end of this here. And so when I took this one out, I didn't realize that that one was stuck in there. Luckily I checked, and I just got some long needle nose pliers and pulled it out. So you want to watch and make sure you get that out of the old one. And if you have to reuse it on the new one, mine came with a brand new gasket there. And again, there's no outer gasket, which I thought was really weird. But so I got it in there. All I got left to do now is just bleed the brakes. Oh, this towel thing was a lifesaver. Hopefully it kept most of the brake fluid down, because I went through a lot of brake fluid on this, because this thing was full and basically emptied out in there. But when I was putting like the bolts on the side here and stuff, you know, you'd drop them and it would just catch in the towel, so I didn't have to fish around with it or try to find a magnet to get it or not. So the towel really helped out a lot, saved me a couple times. I think I'm gonna have to redo these connectors here. They worked well, but this one here's got a lot of exposed. So I'm gonna see if I can just buy just these rubber boot things from the Honda place. They're probably only a couple cents. If not, I'll come up with some kind of solution for sealing that better. Looked like somebody took some kind of weird black RTV and gooped it all over there before. But anyways, so got it in. I think I'm gonna stop the video here. Maybe later I'll make a how to bleed your brake video. Hondas are kind of different, and they do in a weird crisscross pattern, at least in the cord. But so that's all I got left to do on here is get that air out of the lines. So I hope this video helps you out. If you like it, hit like, and if you want to see more videos like this, just subscribe and you'll get them as I do updates.